This is Selma Schimmel, and this is Unique and Unmistakable Amsterdam. The cultural and commercial capital of the Netherlands is used to being the center of attention, and this year is no exception as it hosts the European Cancer Congress 2013. This is a multidisciplinary cancer congress sponsored by ECHO, the European Cancer Organization, ESMO, the European Society for Medical Oncology, and ESTRO, the European Society for Therapeutic Radiology and Oncology. Bringing together the most imaginative and innovative minds and researchers from across the continent and around the world to engage global stakeholders, coordinate a unified oncology community, and speak with one voice. Vital Options Advocacy in Action is here to do the same, bringing together influential leaders of the cancer advocacy community for a three-part advocate forum. This is our fourth European Advocacy in Action, and we are so proud to be in Amsterdam, grateful to be partnering with ESMO and ECHO, and honored to bring it to you. You did, from the CML Advocate Network, a adherence study, the importance of the approachability of the treating doctor as to whether the importance of adherence is being addressed.
Yeah, thank you, Selma. I'm very happy to speak a bit about the adherence survey, but I first need to explain why we did that as a patient organization. CML, chronic myeloid leukemia, has turned from a very deadly disease in the last 15 years into a chronic disease. So 15 years ago, you had a 50-50 chance to survive the first 5 years. While today, with target treatment, it's a disease where you can have a, let's say, lifespan like the normal population, or very close to that. Which brings new challenges because people need to take a therapy, a pill a day, but they need to take it constantly until they're very old. You can't stop treatment because your cancer is going to relapse. And that brings new challenges because the comfort level is relatively high. People never felt their disease. They maybe feel some side effects, very low-grade side effects from therapy, which leads people to be in some kind of comfort zone. So they maybe skip the treatment on the weekend because they're going to a wedding, or they want to feel well, or they go on holidays, or they just forget in the evening or whatever. And we've seen in clinical studies where non-adherence was observed that it is a problem, but we didn't know why. We didn't know why cancer patients leave out their treatment and why they maybe decide to do that. And it was also shown in the clinical studies very clearly, as soon as people leave out more than 3 doses a month, that already the probability to keep remission or achieve a very good remission was getting close to zero. So really an immediate effect. And so we as patient advocates wanted to understand, what can we do about it? How can we educate patient advocates and patients about the importance of adherence? And to do that, you need to understand why they do it and how you can address that. So basically, exactly a year ago, on 22nd of September last year, we started a large adherence study where we recruited 2,500 patients in 79 countries within 3 months to respond to our survey where they described their own feeling of their own adherence, but they also needed to respond to questions on whether they left it out last week or whether they feel unwell and that's why they think they can leave it out, or whether their doctor told them they can leave out therapy. And so with a validated scale, we really wanted to bring some evidence into why non-adherence happens. And so we did that basically, and the results were really surprising because every third patient basically said they had forgotten about taking treatment last month. Maybe because they were interrupted in their daily routine, so they always take it after breakfast, but they forgot to take breakfast or needed to leave home, or they slept in the evening in front of TV and forgot about taking it, or things like that. And even every 10th patient intentionally not took it, so they decided consciously not to take it. And that's quite alarming, knowing that the biological effects on the disease is quite heavy. And what we also found was quite interesting is that basically of those that rated their adherence very high, so 74% of patients said they are very adherent. Scale 1 to 5, they said 5. about every fifth patient of that forgot to take at least one dose last month. So the own perception of adherence and the real adherence are very different things. And one of the things we, of course, wanted to find out, because that's our intention as a patient group, we want to develop tools. We want to make people more adherent by giving them the tools how to improve it. We basically wanted to find out the reasons. And one of the reasons, and that was what you were referring to, is that the doctor plays a major role in that, because the high adherent persons or patients are usually those that discuss with their doctor that they are not taking their medicine or that they've forgotten about it. Or the high adherent persons are more likely to be satisfied with information they get from the doctor. Or the approachability of the doctor was a high factor for high adherence. So there's a lot that doctors and patients can jointly do to address that.
Were there gender differences when you looked at the survey as far as compliance?
There were slight gender differences. The women tended to be a bit more adherent, and the younger patients tended to be a bit more less adherent. So there were some differences, but I would say that's not the main driving factor. It was a driving factor whether patients have a partner, because the partner was amongst the highest rated adherence, let's say, drivers, because the partners usually remind a patient of taking the drug.
Thank you, Dr. Enyu, Jan Geissler, and Anita Margulis for being part of this interactive panel.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.